Well, so let me ask you this: does Teen Wolf make it on the '80s DVD list?
Oh, heck yes.
Okay.
Heck yeah. That was one of the first ones. That's like
so
top 20.
so let me get this straight. Tractor chicken fights, no. A hairy dude becoming a werewolf in high school dunking a basketball, yes.
I don't know, man. It's just there's just something about like releasing your anger by dancing. Like I can't grab it. I don't know what it is about that. I can't grab the greatness of that. I don't know why.
What is shaking, everybody? Welcome back to Turntable Tales, dude. It's been a minute. It's been a
But
minute.
it's been an hour. Man, it's been a while.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. It's good to see you, dude. I'm happy to be here. We got the two of us on screen again, man. This is awesome.
I know, man. It's just like it was, week after week after week for so long. And of course, we talk in between. And then it's like life throws one of those gaps. And it's like, geez, how long has it freaking been?
Yeah, next thing you know, it's like boom, the year's almost over, man. It's
Right.
crazy.
Right.
So today, want to kick it off with movie soundtracks, and yeah, we're going to talk about the movies, the music, and just kind of get into all that stuff, man. Because Brandon and I have a lot more love for the '80s than just the music, right? I mean, there's so many things about the '80s that are awesome.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's just like of course, the music is so great because, in essence, that's the soundtrack of the 80s, but when you start connecting the music with the movies, and then all of a sudden that gets connected with the dress, that gets connected with the talk, and that it's like all the things that made the 80s so just like colorful and fun, man. Was kind of one of the first decades where it was really kind of an abundance of so many different styles that had worked its way into pop culture. And we just hadn't really had that up to that point in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was like if you watch Motown and all that type of stuff, pretty much everyone was in the same suit, the same tie, the long dresses, the same hairs, basically the same types of music, that type of thing. But then all of a sudden the 80s come along, and it's you got punk, you got hip hop, you got metal, you got glam. And there was like just it was like an explosion of just all these different cultures coming together. And I think that's what makes the 80s just a little more unique than most other generational transformations, if you will.
Yeah. Absolutely, dude. You nailed it. All right, so you want to get into some of these soundtracks then? You want to go first?
Yeah. Yeah, so just kind of jump right into it. I just kind of went through and just pulled out some of the fun ones, some of the first ones that touched my fingers, just all that kind of stuff. So really no rhyme or reason to what I pulled out, except it's greatness. I'll put it that way. But the first one I'm going to go to, which I think song for song in a movie might be one of the best soundtracks ever. And I remember even thinking this back in the day, but Last American Virgin.
uh
Remember that? I
Well, I
mean,
think is that the one you turned me on to an '80s movie? Isn't that it? Is that the one where they go to Mexico, or am I?
oh no, that's Losing It.
Dude, I do that every
Yeah,
time.
that's Losing It. But yes, that is a great one. That is a great one.
I got to see
I
that one. I have not seen Last American Virgin yet.
oh really? Wow. Okay, man, you're in for a treat. Um, Yeah, I mean, this is the soundtrack alone for this album. Again, I remember even thinking this back in the day. It's like you watch that movie and you don't know if you're watching it to watch the movie or just to hear the soundtrack play out. I mean, because most, especially today, a lot of soundtracks tend to have the two or three hits that are kind of big, and then all the filler stuff that comes behind it. I mean, in this movie, you had let's just go by what's on the soundtrack, because there's stuff that was in the movie that's not even on the soundtrack. But like Teen Angel Eyes by Tommy Two Tone, Da 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 by The Police, Whip It by Devo, um, Better Luck Next Time by Oingo Boingo, Are You Ready for the Sex Girls? Remember that from that was in did it Revenge of the Nerds too.
Oh,
Since You're Gone by the Cars, I Know What Boys Like by the Waitresses. I Will Follow by U2. I mean,
Dude.
just banger after banger after banger. And what's not on the soundtrack that was also in the movie, Open Arms by Journey, like Oh No by Lionel Richie, Just Once by James Ingram. I mean, all of this was in that movie. It was just like anytime it switched scenes, I think like in the first 3 scenes, there's not a break of music. It's just one song goes right into another song, goes right into another song. And I mean, it's just 80s perfection as far as soundtracks go. So yeah, it's a fantastic one there.
Dude, I have to see that. I think so. Here's what it is. I'm pretty sure I started that movie and then I just never got around to finishing it. I got to finish it. It sounds great. The soundtrack sounds awesome, dude. I can't believe they left Journey off there, but maybe that was a licensing issue or something.
Most likely.
Yeah.
And that's well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to spoil the ending for you, but it's like I think that's one of the best endings to an '80s movie, probably ever, because it's the one that does not follow the traditional role of endings. It was more kind of real life kind of ending. You know, where every other ending, everyone gets like the standing slow clap and all that crap always happens. And they lift up the nerd and carry him off and that type of thing. It's like this is more of a real life ending, and I think that actually made the movie kind of special. But yeah.
All right, it's going to the very top of the list. I'm glad you reminded me of that one.
Definitely.
All right, well, I got a great, what I think is a phenomenal 80s movie and just picked up the soundtrack. I'm not big on whatnot, but once in a while I poke around in there and I'm just trying to see, could I steal something? And somebody posted this and it was a sealed copy. And so I was like, oh yeah, let me grab that. And it's Footloose in the shrink with the hype and everything. Not a big deal. Oh, it was actually sealed. So I cracked it open immediately. You know me, I just crack it open and listen to it. Which is actually a really cool experience, right? Something like this from like early 80s, whenever this came out, 84 or whatever, 84, crack it open. You're like the first one to hear it, man. And it just sounds so pristine. It's so cool. But yeah, dude, I mean, Footloose by Kenny Loggins, that is just a banger. Dancing in the Sheets by Shalimar, love that one. Let's Hear It for the Boy. Almost Paradise, which was the love theme for Footloose. Another big one. But yeah, and then Sammy Hagar's on here. The Girl Gets Around. So just a lot of cool stuff on this record, man. And a lot of nostalgia, dude. I really like this movie. And I know some people are going to say, oh God, it's so cheesy. And the dancing, like, you know, there's these cuts. It's almost like a musical where it'll stop and he'll go through this whole gymnastics routine in the middle of the movie, right? I don't care, dude. I think it's so cool. And the tractors, you know, Tractor Chicken and all that stuff, man. It's so good, dude. And Kevin Bacon is the first time really probably any of us even saw Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And so anyway, yeah, man, Footloose. I'm happy to have it in the collection. It's one of the 80s soundtracks I needed. And I mean, what can I say about it, man? Most people know, most people have seen it. Most people know the music. I never get sick of it. I think it's cool. I love the story leading right up to the end where they finally have the party and they're all going to dance and Footloose comes on. And I don't know, dude, it gets me in the feels every single time. So, well, Kevin Bacon, Footloose right there, dude.
Man, I mean, absolute classic without question. That's an absolute classic. But for me as an 80s lover, and you know, I have like a pretty good size 80s DVD collection. Those are the only DVDs I collect are 80s DVDs. Footloose is the one that I cannot bring into my collection.
Oh.
Dude, I know.
Oh no. Hold on. Dang it. Okay, we got to go. Maybe that's appropriate.
I know. It's like perfect timing. It's like
perfect timing. Okay, bye. Okay. Brandon, explain yourself.
Oh man, and again, for someone who loves the 80s cheese as much as I do, there's just something about this, like, I'm pissed off. I'm gonna go somewhere and dance. I've seen a lot of cheese in the 80s. For whatever reason, I've never been able to catch on to that movie. soundtrack is great, and of course, it's a legendary movie without question, like one of the biggest from the 80s in that regard. But I don't know, it's just something about that movie I've just never. It's like, oh, you don't understand me, Dad. I gotta go dance.
Yes.
I don't
The
get
dad's
it.
the preacher and all that. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's like they died one time, so now dancing is illegal.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
even know you
so
anymore, dude. I don't even know you anymore.
well, one out of 1,000 is not bad. You know, I'm with you on
That's
the other
not bad.
999.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, I'll let it
Oh
slide.
man. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'll make it up to you on my next pick. So the next one here, we'll go with an absolute classic, Vision
Oh,
Quest. And I figured, you know, this one has Journey, Only the Young, so I figured that would make it up to you if I put some Journey back in your life really quick.
oh yeah, oh yeah. He's back. He's back.
But I mean, yeah, again, just another absolute classic. You know, of course, Only the Young by Journey, which is just a huge hit off of this. Crazy for You by Madonna. She's on the Zoom by Don Henley, and of course, Change by John Waite. I mean, another just amazing track. Hungry for Heaven by Devo, Hot Blooded by Foreigner, I'll Fall in Love Again by Sammy Hagar, Lunatic Fringe by Red Rider. I mean, just so much great stuff. And this goes back to kind of how old, I guess, we officially are, because I was at a wrestling meet recently, and you know, this, I guess how old is he? He's like what, he's a freshman now. He's a freshman. And so I was sitting there and, you know, starting to talk to his mom or whatever. And I was like, you know, big state wrestling meet and all of that. Like, have you ever shown him Vision Quest? Like, has he ever seen that movie before? She was like, yeah, we totally watched it. He hated it. I was like, how can you be a wrestler and hate Vision Quest? And it was like, you know, this was cheesy. This was cheesy. This was cheesy. I was like, we're the old people, I guess, because what can get you more fired up for a freaking wrestling match than watching Vision Quest? It's like, are you kidding me? But we're the old ones.
We're the old ones, man. Get off my lawn. I'm gonna go yell at some clouds. You know, you don't know what you're missing. Oh man, you know, kids these days. Okay, let me go. I'm gonna pull out maybe some sleepers at the very end, but I'll do another one kind of in the same vein as the Footloose. And on this one, we got The Breakfast Club.
Oh heck yeah!
I mean, come on, dude. We got this is really cool, man. Don't You Forget About Me, obviously, Simple Minds. But it's got some cool stuff in it. Fire in the Twilight, you know. Jesse Johnson on here. Heart Too Hot to Hold. Wang Chung is on here. That's what I just said. Fire in the Twilight. We Are Not Alone. Didn't I Tell You? I love that song, Didn't I Tell You? Joyce Kennedy.
Yeah.
But it's just another one of those. It's great when you get a like the ones we've been talking about so far, I think, where so you get a soundtrack that in a film and a soundtrack that's like all, this could be a greatest hits almost, you know, kind of a thing where it's just all great music. There's not, in other words, it's not like it was created necessarily for the film, like kind of pulls music from from that era and slaps it in. But man, dude, and of course John Hughes knew how to put together a soundtrack. So yeah, I love this one. And the reason another thing that's so cool about this stuff is that the songs stand on their own, but then they also remind you of the film, and they're very nostalgic, and they can put you in, like if suddenly Don't You Forget About Me popped on the radio, you're going to want to hear it and sing along just because it's a great song, but you're still going to get that memory, that little dopamine, you know, shot of like, oh man, Breakfast Club, dude, so good. So yeah, I love The Breakfast Club. To me, John Hughes, it comes down to Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think those are just his two masterpieces, in my opinion, and they're all great. But I think Breakfast Club is so good. So yeah, man, there's some great music on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like impossible to hear "Don't You Forget About Me" without, you know, seeing what's his name with the freeze frame at the very end of the movie.
Exactly.
It's impossible for that vision not to pop up in your mind.
John Bender, I think his name was something
Yeah,
Bender. Yeah.
yeah, that's a great one. That's definitely in my on my list too. All right, the next one
Nice.
I'm going to go with, which is actually one that probably didn't have as many big mainstream hits, but got so connected with the movie that the songs became so great, and it's Teen Wolf.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, which is one they have not reissued yet. And I mean, I don't know why they haven't gotten around to doing that. Um, but yeah, again, another fantastic one. And I guess I don't, none of the, well, maybe one or two of the songs was made for the movie, because you had songs like a Big Bad Wolf, I would assume that was made for the movie. But
Yeah.
then there was stuff like Shooting for the Moon by Amy Holland. That was a song they played at the very end after they won the basketball game. And again, it's like every time I hear that song, like not only is it just beautiful 80s as can be, but you go right back to that last scene in the movie. But then like my song of all songs on here is the song Win in the End by Mark Safan. And that's the one that was playing when they were playing the championship basketball game. And again, it's just whenever you hear that song, I can see the entire game listening to that song, just scene after scene after scene, because it's just so ingrained. But yeah, again, just very, very fun, just fun stuff.
Nice.
And this really is one where every single song connects to the scene in the movie. Like there's no way to listen to the song without just running the scene through your mind. Probably more so than maybe any other 80s soundtrack I have, quite frankly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you this. Does Teen Wolf make it on the 80s DVD list?
Oh, heck yes.
Okay.
Heck yeah. That was one of the first ones. That's like
So
top 20.
so let me get this straight. Jumping all tractor chicken fights, no. A hairy dude becoming a werewolf in high school, dunking a basketball, yes.
I don't know, man. It's just there's something about like releasing your anger by dancing. Like I can't grab it. I don't know what it is about that. I can't grab the greatness of that. I don't know why.
Oh gosh, that's hilarious, dude.
I mean, Flash Dance, that was good dancing. To say the least.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Well, here's one I think we both can agree on, and in fact, it has an actor that you just mentioned right there, and a little Michael J. Fox.
Oh yeah.
Of course, the lead in Teen Wolf, also in Back to the Future, right there, with some Huey Lewis, Power of Love, Back in Time. I mean, dude, this is so good, and Johnny Be Good and stuff. I'm not saying on this one I wouldn't say like everyone is going to be a hit for me. But in terms of just that dopamine shot and that dragging you back into the nostalgia and the love for this film, which to me, man, this is, oh God, top, I don't even know. Should I say top 3 for me? 80s films. It's so good and so perfect. And the Huey Lewis stuff is just so good, dude. It's just so good. And yeah, again, it's just one of those nostalgic, take me back to the 80s again. And this great not only Back to the Future, but the whole trilogy I think is great. But the first one, of course, is the big one, I think.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, Back to the Future, dude. From the artwork to the film to the music to all of it, I'm right there for it. So
nice. I definitely agree with that one too. All right, next, let's move into this bad boy right here. A little Some Kind of Wonderful.
Back to John Hughes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And with all the great stuff that Hughes did, this might be definitely one of my top 2. And I can't really explain why. It's just one of those ones I like going back to and watching just over and over, a little more so maybe than the others. And again, I don't necessarily have an explanation for it. But yeah, this was 87, I believe. Of course, you had the song "I Go Crazy" by Flesh for Lulu on here, which is just another great one that so captures.
Love that. I love that song. Flesh for Lulu, dude. that's a sleeper band, right? 80s band. So
Yeah,
good.
yeah. That perfect, almost like I mean, they had like kind of a punk edge, but they kept it very new wave. But it's just like this perfect mixture in what they did. Um, and then of course the song "Turn to the Sky" by the March Violets. That was one that they played. It was a couple different times throughout the movie, and that might be one of my top 10 when it comes to soundtrack songs. Probably one of my top 10 soundtrack songs that to me define 80s movie soundtrack song, if I can put that way. It's just something about hearing that song just gives me an overwhelming feeling of what made the 80s so freaking amazing. And so then there was also like, the cover of I Can't Help Falling in Love, that cover that they did kind of towards the end of the movie. And then of course in the movie, which isn't on the soundtrack, they had the song Catch My Fall by Billy Idol. So in the movie that's not on the soundtrack. And that was one of my favorite songs off of Billy Idol's Rebel Yell. So that alone too also made that a pretty amazing track. Amanda's theme, which also is not on the soundtrack. It's just kind of an instrumental piece that was in the movie. So a soundtrack is amazing when the soundtrack itself is great, but you can talk about all the stuff that didn't even make the soundtrack that was so amazing. And Some Kind of Wonderful is another one that kind of did that.
Yeah, that's a great one, dude. Great soundtrack, great movie. I know I talked about it before. I'll try to be very quick about this, but it's like the way I saw that movie was in high school, about the time it came out, and I was kind of in a love triangle, but I was kind of the center of it, I guess. There was a girl that I was dating, and her best friend liked me, and so her best friend says, "Hey, do you want to come over and watch this movie?" So she takes me over. We go over her house, and we're watching Some Kind of Wonderful. And as I'm watching, I realize the short-haired blonde in that film, that was this girl's role. Who basically I don't know her name in the movie, but that was her having me come over trying to fight, and just everything. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't happening. So it's like, it was very meta. It was like, not only am I watching this movie, but like, I feel like I'm in this movie right now.
Wow. Do you know what I would give to be asked out on a date to have someone come over and watch Some Kind of Wonderful and they're attempting to hit on me? That'd be like a dream. It'd be like a dream Friday night for me right now. That sounds like a perfect Friday night.
It would have been, but yeah, unfortunately there was complications in that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's funny.
That's awesome.
I have one that I didn't think about grabbing until just now. Let me find it. Hang on one sec.
Okay, go for it.
All right. Next one up for me, and I just finished watching this movie. I've tried to watch it in the past. Not because it was bad. It is very cheesy, but I knew I just had to some point sit through it. Just the other day, I watched it and sat through it. I just picked this record up. Dude, if you don't know this, I was even going to text you. I was going to be like, bro, you have to. I think you would really like this record, and maybe you already know it, but it's the Dickies Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Hear me out. You talk about like that punk pop sound that we were talking about before, punk new wave. This is it in spades. Now it sounds cheesy. You got Killer Clowns, the song Booby Trap. So great. You got Jim Bowie, Magumba. Those are the big ones. 4 out of 5 tracks. I won't mention the last one because it is pretty cheesy. Those 4 songs, I'll be honest with you, dude. I was playing this record and I was singing and I was, up and bopping around. It's so good. It's so good. It's so 80s. It's so hybrid punk, new wave, like you said. It's very good. As if I put on my hat, just be a critic. It's the songwriting is very good, dude. Let's put it this way. They could have mailed it in, right? They could have just wrote some songs that's, clowns and this and that and stuff. In my opinion, they did not do that. And I think people that really know music would be with me on this. These are very good songs. They're sophisticated. Each one's different in terms of the playing. The singing is great. Man, dude, I think first of all, do you know this record? Are you familiar with it?
No, not at all.
Check it out. Go sample it. Put on a good system, listen to it, put up the volume and stuff, and let me know what you think, man. I love this record. I'm very happy to pick this up. By the way, this is a first pressing. This is a case where I would tell people you have to get the first pressing because I've had newer pressings in the past. They were not good at all. Very muddy. The vocals, you couldn't even hear them. They were buried in the mix and all of this stuff. The original sounds freaking fantastic. It's not bad. I think I paid like 30 something for that. Anyway, the Dickies Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It sounds crazy, but just trust me on this one. Check those songs out. I think they're really, really good.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely will. Because like that's one I don't really remember that well, because I remember back in, this had to be somewhere around 1990, 89 or 90. I went down to Texas to visit my brother, and while he was at work, Killer Clowns from Outer Space came on, and I watched it. And I remember thinking, that is the dumbest movie like ever. I could not get into it, but I never went back to it. So I have no recollection of the music and didn't really pay attention to it. So I'll definitely have to go back and check that out.
Well, and the music's not really in the movie either. Like, so the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I think, is in the intro, and it might be like in the end credits or something. I don't think the other stuff really shows up in it. So it's kind of a strange, to call it a soundtrack is maybe cheating a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and even the movie, like if you put you got to be ready to just watch full on cheese, right? You have to think it's funny to see a person trapped in a ball of cotton candy and clowns shooting popcorn out of their laser guns, right? If you can get into that, you can enjoy it, right?
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out because that sounds pretty cool.
Cool.
And actually, now that you picked that one, let me kind of play off of that same kind of punk kind of feel that you were talking about when it comes to movie soundtracks. How about a little Return of the Living Dead?
Nice.
Another great one right there. And this is another one too that didn't have like any gigantic hits out of it, but just had some awesome kind of punk pop, I guess some maybe kind of glamish metal type of stuff. But actually there's let me take the record back so I can see the credits there. I remember like one of the songs I used to think was so cool on here is the song It's Party Time. And wait, what was the name of the group that sang it? Where the heck? Oh, 45 Grave is the name of. And I remember that song I thought was so freaking cool. And again, this is what we had to do back in the 80s, that I had no idea who sang it. And of course, couldn't find this soundtrack or anything back then. Probably didn't have the money to buy it anyway. So I remember putting my boombox up to the television to record it. And even though only about half of it played in the movie, it was still like, that's the only way I can listen to it whenever I want without having to go back and watch the movie. But that's just how good this stuff was. But then there was also another awesome track on here called Tonight We'll Make Love Until We Die by SSQ, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that was, remember Susie Q from the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the band that she was in before she left and went the Susie Q pop that she did. And and that SSQ was definitely a little more kind of punkish attitude, kind of pop rock kind of stuff. But it's an awesome track. And then like, I'm just trying to think like maybe some bands that are probably more well known, like The Damned, Dreadbeat Dance on here, The Cramps, Surfing Dead. So I mean, they even had just like some very well known punk bands on here, and it's just one of those classic kind of cult movies as well. Just the whole zombie thing and eating brains, and you're laughing just as much as you're going gross, just as much as you're. It's anytime you have a movie where when someone's getting their brains eaten out, you're laughing, like they've done that one right. But 1985, just another really, really fantastic soundtrack there.
That's cool, dude. Yeah, I got to check that out. I do not remember the soundtrack. I have not seen that movie in forever, so I got to revisit that. Very cool.
If I find another copy, it's coming your way, because this is a must-have.
Oh, nice. All right, here we go. This is the one. If you've seen any of my videos, you probably already know. But I love this soundtrack, man. It's not anything like we've been talking about. This is not, well, kind of, but this is going to be more a score.
Oh yeah.
This is Tron by Wendy Carlos. It's electronic music plus some orchestra music and stuff like that. But it does have Journey on here. You got Journey, you got Only Solutions, and then you got something like I forget the title of the other one, but there's another track on here that they do. This is another one, dude. I love this movie, and it's like I'm sure people are gonna think younger people that have seen the Neutron. If you ask them to go back and watch this, they might be like, "What?" But it's just, dude, this is the one, man. Where I saw it in the theater, I came home, I was driving my light cycle around the backyard and everything, and in fact, and I say this every time I talk about this, but my mom was dating a DJ when this came out, and he hooked me up with the record. He got me this, and then the Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was not the music, but the movie on record or whatever. And so I'll never forget. So I love this one, man. Tron is so Wendy Carlos. It's so good. Yeah, it reminds me of the movie, but it's very good music, like electronic orchestra music. It's just beautiful. I love it. So, and then you get the bonus of having some Journey on there too.
Nice. Yeah, that one just totally made me think about one that I didn't pull out. So maybe I'll run and grab that one at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, that totally made me think about another one. All right, I'm going to mention the one that just kind of almost feel by spiritual law, I have to mention it every time we talk about an 80s soundtrack. So maybe I won't spend a lot of time on it because everyone's heard me talk about it a million times, but it's the soundtrack I listen to the most in my entire collection, and it is Grease 2.
Let's go.
Dude, this never gets old. It never gets dull. It never gets boring. And I can listen to it every freaking day. And yeah, I mean, I'll just leave it at that because there's nothing I'm going to say that's new that I haven't already said like literally 20 times throughout the course of my time here in the VC. I love all the songs. I love all the songs in this on the soundtrack. They're fun. They're catchy. They sum up the movie really well. And there's something about them too that's just, because even though both movies were kind of silly, like Grease and Grease 2, Grease 2 wasn't as serious as Grease was. Like, because like even in Grease, you're dealing with I thought I was pregnant, and like the fights are more like we're really getting ready to fight. And everything was just a little more serious in Grease. But Grease 2, they were still doing we're fighting and the whole dating struggle and all of that, but everything just was kept lighter, and there was just something so much more fun about it. And there's just something in the songs that just really reflect that.
Yeah.
And just great melodies in the songs. They're cheesy and all of that, but just great melodies that I love to hear. And just, of course, the funny nature of the lyrics and everything. That is my number one soundtrack right there.
Dude, so by the time people see this video, you might have seen the other video that I'm posting. If you haven't seen that video, you have to go watch it because I'm starting a series where I'm traveling around, going to record stores, filming it, going through records, talking about my exploration, kind of rebuilding the collection. Exploration is not the right word, but anyway, so in that video I show that record because as I'm flipping, I saw it and I was like, oh, this is Brandon's record, man. It was more than I wanted to spend, so I didn't pick it up, but I show it in the video. So yeah, I know your love for that, dude, and I gotta check it out, man.
Yeah, and again, most people hate it. I mean, they've heard it a million times. Most people just hate the movie in general. The movie was a huge flop. I mean, I think I've told the story before where the guy who played Goose in the movie, my brother, who's an actor out in Hollywood, actually worked on a project with him and was all excited about it, dude, my brothers and I, Grease 2, the most amazing thing. And like, even his response was, wow, I didn't think anyone ever saw that movie or liked that movie. Or it's like we all saw it because it was on TV like all the time, 15 times a day, it seemed, for a while on regular cable. But I mean, it really was a weak follow-up to Grease. It didn't do very well at all. But screw that, man. That movie is just, that is golden. Oh my gosh, it's golden.
Nice. I'll pick it up one of these days. All right, I got two left.
Okay.
And I'll save the weirdest one for last. But this is another one. This is a score. This is not going to be, you know, the hits, you know, 80s hits being brought in like John Hughes style or anything like that. But I love this record. And this is John Carpenter's Escape from New York right there.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's so good. And obviously he scored a bunch of movies of his movies like Halloween and The Thing, I think maybe. I don't Oh, I'm not that hip. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but what, you know, I know that he did a bunch. And this is one, and this one is my favorite. I love it, dude. Escape from New York, composed and performed by John Carpenter. And it, the synthesizers and everything, and it's like,
Mhm.
it's so 80s. I don't know what a person that wasn't there would think of this stuff.
Right.
They might hear it and go, oh, this is the worst kind of soundtrack music. Why would anybody score a movie that way? Blah, blah. Dude, I'm just so glad I was there that I can appreciate it. So, not much to say about it. Escape from New York. It's just this wonderful electronic soundtrack that's very non-sophisticated, but it's so cool. And I don't know what to say. People that know, they know, right? And so happy to have the soundtrack. I love it. And I can just listen to this and think about the movie and just enjoy it, man, for what it is. Just really cool.
Yeah, that's great. I actually watched that movie a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, nice.
I threw it in the DVD player, and it's another one of those ones that gets cheesier every time you see it, and you're just like, show it to me one more time, because that's just fantastic.
Oh, so good.
Watching him run around his tights and everything, and it's just I mean, everything is just horrible, but it's so good.
Snake.
Pliskin. Oh man, so good.
So good.
All right, the next one here, again, another one I think that many people have spoken about a number of times when it comes to 80s soundtracks, but the one and only Better Off Dead. You know, another fantastic one here that just has, again, so much stuff that pulls you into the movie. You know, my favorite song off of here is Arrested by You by Rupert Hines, which if you go back to the movie, that's the scene where he's making her dinner in the restaurant when he takes her out for the first time. And it's just one of those perfect kind of 80s ballads. I love the harmonies in the chorus of that with the two guys, with Rupert and the guy singing in the background. Again, it's just something that's so 80s perfect. The only thing I don't like about the version here is in the movie, Cusack comes out with the saxophone and plays that sax solo while she's eating. The sax solo is not on the album, and that's one of the parts of the song. Yeah, it was the way they did it in the movie. So that's kind of the only downer there. But you know, then you also have songs like A Little Luck by E.J. Daly, because, you know, again, I've always talked about her because she's one of my absolute 80s queens. I mean, she never made it big as Molly Ringwald and stuff like that, but her face was always in movies, and she always kind of had parts. Like, you know, she was one of the friends in Valley Girl, you know, and obviously she made a cameo as the girl singing at the dance in Better Off Dead. You know, she was the girl in Streets of Fire. You know, remember they kind of just started running with them when they were kind of running around or whatever. Yeah, so she was kind of everywhere in the 80s, and she just really kind of represents just like one of my absolute 80s queens. But I mean, yeah, you know, Everybody Wants Some, of course, that was in the movie with Van Halen and all of that. So just another classic.
Nice. Yeah, I love that movie. I've not seen it in a long time. Like, you're mentioning scenes, and I'm kind of like, I don't remember that necessarily, but I love that movie. It's one, I mean, I probably haven't seen it in decades, and so I need to check it out again, man.
Yeah, definitely. It's just the one thing I've definitely noticed lately, because, you know, over the past few months, I've really been focusing on building more to my 80s DVD collection. I've been kind of shooting you some messages here and there about movies that I find, which is absolutely fantastic. And I can get the exact same joy that I get from, you know, like a $60 record I can get from a $3 DVD, which is just awesome. But it's amazing, like when you start going on eBay or something like that and just looking at, you know, 80s movies or 80s DVDs, some of the stuff that comes up, you're like, oh my God, I so forgot about that, all the way to I have never heard of that before. Like,
Mhm.
it's just so many movies that came out during that time period.
Yeah, and like you said, it's like even the ones that aren't top notch, they're still 80s movies. So it's like
Great.
there's still something to get out of it, you know?
Yes. Yes.
A bad 80s movie is better than a good 90s movie, guys. No, sorry.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Well, here's my last one, and this one's cool. This one is probably more about the movie than the music, but actually I like the music. And if you haven't seen this, I think it holds up. You got to like, this isn't going to be as cheesy as Killer Clowns. It kind of takes itself a little bit more seriously, but it's called The Fun House. And this is one where these kids go to a fun house and they get trapped in there overnight, and there's some shenanigans and all this stuff. The music is cool because it's part like carnival and part horror, which is such a sweet spot for me. I really love it. And so it's like, this is going to be like a score, but it's got that da, 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 along with the, kind of slasher movie kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool, I think. And this is a reissue. For whatever reason, I think I just saw it and grabbed it because it was affordable. It sounds great. You don't have to get an original or anything, but The Funhouse. It's a fun soundtrack. I think it's a fun movie. It's actually one I remember watching when I was a kid and being really scared by it and stuff. And then it wasn't long ago, maybe a year or two ago, when I watched it again after all these decades, and it stood up. I think I was like, man, this actually kind of stands up, on its own and stuff. And so I think it's pretty good. It's filmed pretty good, and the cinematography and all that stuff is pretty good. So Funhouse. That's my last one.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that, but yeah, that was a good one. Definitely was a good one.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right, if you're gonna go with kind of a weird one on the last one, I'm gonna go with the weirder one out of the stuff I have left here. And kind of on the opposite side, moving away from the horror, but more so over to the comedy. And I think this was a strange movie that just so worked. Rhinestone.
There we go.
With Dolly Parton and Sylvester Stallone.
That's another one, dude. I've not seen that probably since it came out, man. I got to see that one again.
I mean, I tell you what, I would have never guessed in a million years, just putting this movie together, that it would have worked. But Sylvester Stallone was so funny in this thing that he deserved to win something for his performance in this particular movie, because he just took the whole silly, low IQ, just living for the moment New Yorker kind of thing, and especially like with his accent and everything, and just, I mean, played it to perfection. But again, it's one of those things where the soundtrack, even though a lot of the songs are meant to be, well, I would say maybe half of them are meant to be kind of funny, sometimes even like silly and that type of thing, they were still fantastic songs that you want to hear, just like you were listening to a top 40 radio, station or something like that. And I think a couple of them on here that kind of stand out is The Day My Baby Died. I guess is Rusty Buckman is the guy who actually sang it. But it's a guy singing a song, and kind of reflecting back to the movie. They're having like an amateur night, and the crowd is known for like, really being hard on the singers. And this guy gets up there and he like tells them to shut up. He's going to come down there and like break their necks. And they were like, oh, woo, they get all serious. And he starts singing this song, which actually does sound like an amazing country song. And he's absolutely killing it. And he's talking about his girl, and, they just got married and how beautiful she was and all of that. Then all of a sudden the song goes into how the tractor dragged her into it and started cutting her into pieces. And there's, he says, and like there's blood on the corn and brains on the hay, and like the crowd is just dying laughing, and he's being like totally emotional, serious. But that's the kind of stuff that was in the movie. It's just like, it was so much comedy, but even the silly, funny songs were absolutely great. Drinkenstein that Sylvester Stallone did. And then of course Dolly Parton did some amazing things inside of here. But yeah, it really is just a very, very funny movie that you would never expect those two to make it work the way they did. And the soundtrack totally complements it.
Yeah,
So,
it's true. I think even at the time, it was like if you knew Dolly Parton and Sylvester Stallone, you'd see that and be like, "What? Well,
yeah, I was
why
like,
did they make
what?
this movie?" You know?
Right. And that was like 1984, you know. So I guess we kind of already had like the Rockies and all that type of when Stallone was really kind of starting to break through, and then all of a sudden he's just like, what is this? But it's freaking fantastic.
Yeah, he's probably coming off some Rocky movies. She's got it. I'm guessing 9 to 5 came out before that did because it seemed like I
Yeah,
knew Dolly Parton from movies before that.
yeah,
And so she's probably coming off that. And yeah, they just,
mhm.
let's put these two things together and see what happens.
It worked.
I got to see that again, man. It's been forever.
That's a good one. Oh, there is one other thing I wanted to share really quick since we've been
Okay.
talking about it, in case someone's watching this, because like maybe you don't have all these soundtracks, but this came out in 2022. If you haven't seen it, life moves pretty fast, and this is just kind of like a 2 LP mixtape of all things from John Hughes movies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that we've spoken about from all the different movies are kind of on this. And here, I'll do a quick little flash if you want to. Anybody wants to pause it, if you can see it, you can pause it and check out the titles there. But great way to grab a lot of this stuff in just kind of one LP.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to check that out. That looks cool too. I love that mixtape look on the cover. That's cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. We are back. Don't sleep on the Turntable Tales show. We're coming back in full effect, and I'm sure we'll be back very soon with another video. So, dude, we got through our. It's been a long time, man. I'm very happy to be hanging out with you again.
Just getting warmed up for 2026, man.
That's it. That's it, baby. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
So see you guys.